We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Better than beautiful.
Welcome, coming to you live from the studios of LA Talk Live in sunny Los Angeles, California. This is Alayna's Beauty Talk and more, and I'm your host, Alayna. We're here to talk about beauty and more and all its expressions every Wednesday at noon Pacific time. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. This is Alayna's Beauty Talk and more on LA Talk Live. We're more than just talk.
No more searching, love, I found it. Ended up with my heart and soul. About time that you know. If you just believe and see like I see, you'll know that the world is yours to own. Just follow my lead beyond material things. It's time to let you know you're better than beautiful.
Hubert's Lemonade, tasty, refreshing, sweet, and tart. Happiness in a bottle. Visit Hubert's Lemonade at hubertslemonade.com. Once again, that's hubertslemonade.com. Happiness in a bottle. Xavier Tees and Tots, groundbreaking fashion, forward street smart designs. Tees and Tots for men, women, and boys. Visit xavierusa.com. Once again, that's xavierusa.com.
Young Connection, your one-stop connection for all your commercial printing needs. Young Connection is a full-service printing and media design company dedicated to providing the highest level of customer service and satisfaction. Young Connection provides swift response and rapid turnaround services for banners, brochures, business cards, letterheads, church bulletins, funeral programs, flyers, logo design, posters, and much, much more, all at an affordable price. Young Connection, the official printing company of LA Talk Live. Give them a call at 310-491-3336. That's 310-491-3336, or visit their website at www.youngconnection.com. That's www.youngconnection.com. Young Connection Printing and Media Services, proud sponsors of LA Talk Live, where it's more than just talk.
Hi, this is Tika Lark Fleming inviting you to join me every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for MP Chronicle Presents The Black Girl Show. Join us as we discuss politics, pop culture, and the other side of Black LA. So don't forget to tune in to MP Chronicle Presents The Black Girl Show every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream.tv. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Welcome back to Alayna's Beauty Talk and more. That was conductor Frank, everybody. Maestro Frank, clearing his throat for the show. You know we're here to have a really good time. It's summertime. Frank showed up in shorts. I've never seen his legs before.
You want to see my legs? Well, on camera, no.
We're just going to have a really good time, but we do have an important message to get through. This is the summertime music series, which is free in Marina del Rey and other venues throughout, I guess, California that you guys are conducting or playing in. And it's just so important for people to know about these concerts and to really appreciate how beautiful they are outside, listening to classical music. We just don't get enough of that. So these are really good times to remind people to get outside, listen to amazing music, And we're just going to remind you about that all through the show. And then we have our very good friend Ruth Smith anchoring the table with all her beautiful fruits, vegetables, all her health tips on how to make a healthy
See, the
picnic
audience
basket.
applauded you. There you go.
No, it's
You're
important,
in.
you know, to bring healthy food to a beautiful concert. People don't always know how to pack a really nice picnic basket. And they end up going, I mean, it's fine to go to the restaurants around you. They do depend on that, too, for their living through
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
summer.
They're good options.
Yeah, but, you know, sometimes it's fun to have your own.
Yes.
So that's what we're here to talk about. And then sitting next to me is Ruslan Barakoff. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Hey, after 2 years. Who is a world-renowned cellist. He's also the executive director of the Glendale Philharmonics and a regular on Alayna's Beauty Talk and more. He's just amazing. And he and Frank and Ruth and I are all here to kind of combine all our knowledge to get everybody out listening to amazing free concerts, remind you where they are, what time they start. It's because it's great family fun. And I'm all into great family fun that's free.
Yeah.
I mean, if you choose to spend money and buy dinners out there or wherever you are, go for it. You know, the economy needs it.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, it's interesting when we talk about free concerts. They are free. I mean, I could put them in a different light. We could say no admission is charged, but in a sense, they're not free because musicians have to be paid, artists have to be paid, recording engineers have to be paid, sound people, lighting people. But even when we refer to these concerts, say at Marina Del Rey that I do and that we hope you all come to. You of people in LA County and the state of California are sort of paying for those concerts because they are public concerts, but they're being supported by a public entity. And in essence, your tax dollars, to a certain extent, are helping to pay that. So it's a kind of a gift back to you and a gift back to the community. So we hope you avail yourself of this. And it's not that you're coming to something that is questionable. It's really top-level talent, top-level music, top-level musicians that are performing for you as a gift back to the community. But the good side of it is that it does afford a lot of people who may not be able to pay the $20, $30, $50, or $100 to go to a concert venue. It does give them an equal opportunity to hear and to see the highest quality of music that's possible, because we're helping out with our public funding. I think it's important.
What we need to mention, where it actually happened.
Oh, yeah,
right?
let's do that, too.
Wait a minute, you know, we've jumped way far ahead, Frank.
Grab it back, Alayna.
Okay,
Grab it back.
I'm taking this back.
Take it back. I'm going to.
We got to introduce you. You got to give a little background about yourself.
I know. I have to talk about that. I don't want to talk about myself again.
Okay. Yes, you are going to have to talk about yourself a little bit and why you wear the red beret every time you're on the show, which I think is so cool. But Ruslan, you're sitting next to me. Why don't you tell everybody who you are, a little bit of your
You already told them who I am.
Yeah, but, you know, tell a little story about what happened this summer when you went to Moscow.
Oh, that.
You know, give Frank.
Moscow.
I mean, you know, not everybody travels to Moscow in the summer, but while you were there, I just, you know, let's, before we jump into all the let's just, well, we're going to jump around. We've already jumped around, but let's just keep jumping around and get talk about Moscow.
Okay, so hold on a second. Before I'll say something about Moscow, since Frank already mentioned the concerts in Marina Del Rey, I do want to mention it's in the Burton Chase Park. Okay, just for everyone. Burton Chase Park, and the next concert is on July 24th, which is Thursday, I believe, right?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday, yeah. So just come to Burton Chase Park around 5, 6, 7 p.m. on July 24th.
Concerts at 7.
Concerts at 7, but you better come sooner. earlier because the places on that lawn, there is a grass lawn that gets taken quite
Very
fast,
quickly.
very quickly. So you want to hold the place early enough. Now about Moscow.
I want to hear about Moscow.
I'm Russian, so obviously I went to Moscow. Where else Russians can go during summertime? Well, what happened? This was the year of 8th International Youth Tchaikovsky competition, which is probably the largest, the most advanced classical music competition in the world. And it happened that a few students of mine applied to this competition. There are 4 rounds, and it's designed for the kids up to 16 years of age. And I'm a cellist. I'm a professional musician. I'm a cellist. I teach cello. So a few students applied for the competition, and surprisingly enough, they all made it to the actual competition.
Yeah.
Yay, that's a huge accomplishment.
That was
Absolutely.
truly unbelievable accomplishment because out of few thousand applicants, there were selected 143, if I'm not mistaken, for 3 categories. There were pianists, cellists, and violinists. So 2 out of those 2 students of mine, of those who actually made the competition, made it to the actual competition. They actually traveled to Moscow and performed, and one of them won 3rd prize.
Wow.
That's a big
Yeah.
one.
Now that's a really big achievement, that's pretty much it.
I want to add something. May I add something?
Of course.
Okay. The student that won this 3rd prize, the cellist, interestingly enough, is a cellist I've known for a long, long time. A little boy, Nathaniel.
Nathaniel Lee.
Nathaniel Lee, darling little boy, very fine cellist, working with Ruslan, and Ruslan has really whipped him into shape. But interestingly enough, I've conducted this Nathaniel several times myself because he won some competitions for me. And actually, last year when Ruslan was playing the Dvorak cello concerto with my Marina Del Rey Orchestra, Nathaniel Lee and his brother were actually performing as apprentices in our Marina Del Rey Orchestra while Ruslan was playing the
How
solo.
old were they then?
He was
He's
13.
right now, I think.
Okay, he was 12 years old
12
last year,
yeah.
and his brother, who's a violinist, was about 14.
He's a little
14
older,
or 15.
yeah.
So they had these relationships with Ruslan before
Mm-hmm.
Ruslan actually started teaching them. So it's nice to see it come full circle with him winning, thanks to Ruslan's wonderful talent as a teacher as well.
But it was very interesting trip, not just musically speaking. Musically phenomenal. I have to say that the level of the competition was astonishing. I myself, I really didn't expect to be that high. There are things, I have to confess. I have a confession to make. A couple of kids I heard, it was to the point when I was sitting listening for them, and I thought, maybe I shouldn't play cello any longer. It was literally that. It was
Stay with the cello.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a kind of an achievement. And of course it was very interesting for me just to be in Moscow, and I made 1-day trip to St. Petersburg and 2-day trip to a city called Bryansk. It's a city where my parents live. Just to see the town. I haven't been there for 6 years. I mean, I've been in Moscow for literally a few hours 3 years ago, and I didn't really see the city. And this time I had the opportunity to walk around and to meet friends. Very interesting experience. I actually recommend everyone going there now. It's a tourist season. Remarkable experience. Russia has changed drastically. It's a different country now. It's a truly different country now.
For the better?
I don't know. I have to say, I'm still sort of digesting it, and I have to say it was overwhelming experience. Food was simply phenomenal. Architecture-wise, well, it always was interesting. The actual city, Moscow city, I felt lost a little bit of that was called chic, on the outside. But inside, you walk into the building and it all sparkles and it all They rebuilt Moscow Conservatory, big hall, and it sounds much better. It's much prettier now, and that's pretty much everything. But like 6-10 years ago, it was exactly opposite. On the outside, the facades were phenomenal, but inside it was all crumbling. Now the situation kind of reversed. Inside is truly remarkable. Outside, you look at it and it kind of gives you not a strange feeling, but I don't even know how to explain it. Everything looks okay, but the beauty is inside. It's not outside any longer.
Can you fly in Russia then?
Yeah.
You got your pilot's license, so.
Oh yeah. I that's a major achievement of mine personally. Right before the departure to Moscow, I finished my training as a pilot, and I am, in fact, the only musician now who has commercial pilot's licenses. I'm the only professional musician in the world with American single and multi-engine commercial pilot licenses. Moreover, I can train, I can instruct, I have licenses as a certified flight instructor, single, multi-engine aircrafts and instruments. It's a pretty powerful combination, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, this year was a truly overwhelming year for me. The past season was overwhelming season for me. Because
how do you have time to play the cello?
Cello? What?
What?
What's a cello? I don't know what a cello is.
All right, we got to put Ruth on the mic. You haven't even. You're just sitting there all pretty.
Well,
but Ruth has been on the show a lot. She's probably what I tell people is the most amazing. You're really not a nutritionist, a wellness coach that I have ever met. You have a way that makes so much sense when you talk about food and eating properly and good nutrition of anybody that I have ever met. It's just amazing.
Thank you.
You tend to get things through people's head where other people just resist listening to it. I don't want to change. I don't want to. I don't want to stop eating sugar. I don't want to stop eating chocolate or ice cream But you have a way of describing it where it makes sense.
Yeah, well, I try to blend really the science behind it with the emotion. And so much of what we eat and how we eat is emotionally based. So when I'm speaking to someone, I'm not just saying, here's the nutrient values and the reason why you should eat it, scientifically speaking, because that can kind of go over your head. Rather, it's if you're eating something like having massive sugar cravings, generally speaking, it's because you're missing some other component in your diet. And when I'm talking diet, I'm not just talking food, I'm talking about you're living your life. Mm-hmm. So, whether it be a sense of spirituality, whether it be connecting to music or finding ways to de-stress or increase family and relationships, all of that has an influence on how we eat and our own health. So I like to say I work with the most challenging clients that are out there. Usually they are self-described as such. And
Russians?
I have worked with Russians. And it's very interesting because they all come and they say, I am a naughty little boy, or I'm a rebel right now and I won't follow direction. And we talk through a lot of that when it comes to nutrition and then start making small, simple swaps and changes. And before they know it, they're actually living a healthier lifestyle. So it's really interesting to be able to bring health in a different capacity to people who feel they are the most challenging.
Yeah, that is a big challenge, to change somebody that doesn't want to change. Well, they do want to change if they've already come to talk to you or called you for an appointment, so they are open to it. Mm-hmm. But sticking to it is totally different.
Yeah, completely different. And the majority of my clients are 50 and above. So they've had a lifetime, so to speak, or gaining lifetime of eating in a way that may not best suit them. So it's about kind of knocking down those barriers and kind of figuring out what's going on, talking about how you ate as a child, and really bringing that to the forefront into how they can actually change. Anyone can change. It's just a matter of a slight little door being open and, taking that little first step.
But you as musicians and a conductor have to stay in shape. Because
Well,
you're
yes.
on your feet, you're moving, you need the endurance.
But
You-
conducting by itself is already fitness, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it's very the active part about it appeals to me. I think that's probably one of the reasons I became a conductor, because the static aspect of things never was that attractive. But going back to the nutritional issues, I tend to be the kind of person that likes a lot of sugar. And I crave cakes and I crave chocolate and that kind of thing. It's very typical. I don't eat a lot of it, but when I crave it, I really crave it. So a lot of times, though, I will sublimate that into physical activity. Either I'll study or I'll go to my studio and do something in the yard or something like that. But the other thing too is, and I was talking to Ruth this morning about it with my wife. My wife is very conscious of diet and meditation, et cetera, et cetera. So that has been a very good influence in my life. And she cooks all day long, from morning till almost midnight. It's interesting. There's always something new being created. It may not be actual cooking. It may be just salads, or it may be slices of watermelon or slices of apples or something arranged in a beautiful way. And it's always there. So she's always, and she will never buy cakes or cookies or anything like that. It's always me that does that. So I had to sort of change my consciousness from that. And but a lot of my singers that I work with, because I'm an opera conductor as well, they're always asking for advice. In fact, one of them called my wife up the other day and said, I don't know how to cook spinach. She said, well, you can do it raw, or you can just gently saute it or something like that. So my wife has to give this advice over the phone. Oh, I never thought of that. And it's really amazing that creative people even don't even think in these terms. It's not part of their consciousness, and in some cases, like Lucy said, it's a matter of culture. So you have to find another way of giving them comfort. Sometimes they do it because, back in New Orleans, they ate that fried chicken, and that's the way it is, But then you suddenly realize, maybe that's not so good. And there was this other student of mine, this opera singer. She says, well, I'm going to have a party, and I don't know what to do. She says, I used to eat pork a lot, but I don't eat that anymore. And I said, well, okay, that's probably good. And then she said, I don't know what to serve at this. I have a new apartment. I'm going to have a little get-together. I said, well, what do you think you might? I said, well, what's really good? Hummus is really good. Have you oh, yeah, I like hummus. Maybe I'll serve hummus. And maybe a salad. I said, that sounds really good. And I said, well, maybe you could do just like beautiful fruits, and I suppose if you have to serve something protein, maybe a little cheese or something, okay, but choose carefully. So she sort of constructed this whole almost a vegetarian kind of a party for her friends when she was thinking of doing pork and fried chicken. So it was interesting. So just chatting it out.
But you don't admit, do you?
What?
You don't admit.
No, I don't eat any meat. No.
There's a complete vegetarian. There is a difference between vegetarian
I'm not a
and
vegan.
vegan,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
There's a-
Yes.
What's the
Yeah.
difference?
I'm not a
Doesn't
vegan,
it-
no, but I do eat meat. I don't eat any meat, no.
See,
Or fish. I don't eat any fish.
I
either.
used to be a big meat eater,
Yeah, I don't eat fish.
except of last 7 days with my wife.
So he's very new to this.
Is this the new Ruslan we're saying?
guess.
I don't know.
Not for too long, I'm afraid.
Well, it's always good to try and experiment and do something new. I always find that.
Yeah,
I think, what else is life about other than being able to experiment and see what feels right to you at a given time? And it can change, if not within a year or 2 years, sometimes within a day.
See,
So
yeah, I agree. I see, but I see this musically too. I see it in art. I think that positive consciousness changes, things that would cause less pain, less harm, not only to yourself, but to other people, to the planet, to animals, plants in general. Anything that you can do to change your consciousness to something that causes less harm, if that starts working its way outward among the populace, then you have mass consciousness change, even if it might interfere with your particular ego compulsions, you know? And so I think that's a very important thing, not only for artists, but for all people.
I have a question. When did you stop eating meat? Because you weren't always that way, were you?
32 years ago.
Man,
Long
that's
time.
long, yeah.
That's a long
Yeah,
time.
and we did it very, very gradually. It was not a.
So both you and your wife. And what about your son?
He's a vegetarian
Okay.
too. As our dogs are vegetarians, and we have a 22-year-old Maltese, so maybe it's good.
Wow.
Yeah, who's got a lot of energy, runs around the house at 22 years old. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
it's,
does your wife cook for the dogs?
she.
This is really getting off subject, but
well, no,
This is super
in a way it's
interesting.
not. In this way, it's not because it's how do you artistically apply practical things to your
True.
daily
Well,
life.
that's actually kind of why I threw
You know?
this show
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. So yes, she does cook for the dogs. Here's what she does. The dogs eat. It's a vegetarian substitute made by Morningstar Farms. Sometimes she'll heat it and cook it just to make it hot because maybe the dog likes it hot. But sometimes she serves it cold. The other thing, the dogs, obviously, they're animals. Our 22-year-old Maltese suddenly seemed he wasn't eating. So she said, "What am I going to do? He's 22 years old because he has no teeth." So anyway. She said, well, maybe he'd have some half and half. Well, now that's not the best thing, but he is an animal. So she gave him some half and half. So he eats the half and half once in a while, but eats his vegetarian. Then she also has always, I was telling you, on our little counter in the kitchen, she has chopped egg, fresh chopped hard-boiled egg, and she'll sprinkle that. Sometimes that will entice them to eat. Once in a while, she might scramble an egg for the two dogs. But very, very infrequent. That's very infrequent. That's their diet.
Well, it's worked for them.
And the poodle, an occasional carrot, which she then takes into the room and buries in the couch. So you have to go to the couch, and sometimes you'll find 6 or 8 buried carrots. But she likes carrots. So
Is it a little poodle or a big
it's
standard?
a small, not a standard,
Not
small,
a
small,
small
poodle. Yeah.
poodle.
So you find creative ways to deal. And believe me, it's more pleasant having that food around the house for the dogs than some of the stuff that dogs get served.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
It's much more pleasant to live with on a
Yeah.
daily basis, you know.
Yeah.
So you find creative ways to do these things.
Yeah, and I feel like being creative in the kitchen is really correlates to being creative in music too, and it's
does.
the two come together just beautifully. I mean, I every day at 4:00 put on music in our house, and that's when we start kind of the cooking process and kind of the family time for the day, and it's just wonderful to be able to find ways to blend the two together. And as you're cooking, you suddenly find yourself humming to the music, and you're kind of moving in the same way in correlation to the music. And so it's nice to be able to meld food and
you have a 10-month-old baby.
yeah.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, he loves it, and
Yeah.
that's really our life.
The other day, I heard we were talking on the phone, and I heard the baby screaming in the background, and she goes, "Oh, he's really happy. He's eating mango."
Now,
Yeah, it was
see,
true.
that's a you ought to have that over your door. Oh, he's really happy. He's eating.
But that's exactly what
It's
you
true.
said.
He's a foodie.
That's very sweet. That's very sweet indeed. Yeah.
That's our music. You want to take? I'll take us to break this time.
Oh, we're on break.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I mean, you know how to do that. You can conduct us out, Frank. Your hand. Okay, everybody, that was Maestro Frank Fetta taking us out to break. This is Alayna's Beauty Talk, and more when we come back. We'll get back on track a little bit and talk more about the concerts that are coming up that Ruslan and Frank are playing in, and we'll actually start to talk about all the beautiful food that Ruth brought that's in the basket that you've probably been staring at as we've been chit-chatting through this first half hour. Okay, you guys can braid the basket too. Ruslan, you always eat during the show. You ask if it was okay.
I give you full permission.
All right, everybody. When we come, we'll get back into our conversation when we get back. This is Alayna's Beauty Talk and more on LA Talk Live. We're more than just talk.
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
It started out like a totally normal day.
I love you.
I mean, I guess I was a little sweaty and I was definitely sore. I thought I had gas. Turns out I was having a heart attack. Heart disease is the #1 killer of American women. So now I take care of myself and tell the other women in my life to do the same. Make it your mission to save your life and the lives of the women you love. Find out more from the American Heart Association at goredforwomen.org.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Susie Pruden. And yes, you've seen me on Oprah, Good Morning America, and The Today Show. And I'm inviting you to join me every Monday from 3 to 4 for my new show, Mastermind Live. Join us as we introduce you to the new thought leaders of the world who will inspire you, support you, and guide you to your next level. So don't forget to tune into Mastermind Live exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Starlet Quarles, and I'm inviting you to join us every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People. Join us as we discuss the topics that are relevant to today's generational leaders. So don't forget to tune in to The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hello, I'm Joel Ramirez.
And I'm Lolita Robinson Coppage, and welcome to Joy in My House
On LATalkLive.com. Inspirational radio
with a touch of recovery.
A reality show where nothing is left unsaid.
And no one is insignificant who says it.
Exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV.
Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Welcome back to Alayna's Beauty Talk and more. You could have, during the break, if you're watching us while we're there, Frank was conducting this orchestra. This piece was played last year at the summer concert, so they brought it in just to give us an idea of how beautiful the music is. And these are played at Marina Del Rey and Burton Chase Park, which you're facing the ocean, so
And
if
the
you
sunset.
in the sunset and the boats,
boats.
it's so
And you have a bottle
beautiful.
of wine, and you have
and
a
they're every
picnic.
Thursday and Sunday nights at 7, and the admission is free instead of saying a free concert. And it's just so beautiful. You just have to get there early. And then just stay a little bit after so you miss some of the traffic when everybody's leaving. But it's so beautiful
And
in
you-
the marina. It's easy to get to.
Yeah, and there is parking on their parking lots. Parking lot number 4, number 5, number 77. Which actually needs to be paid. Yeah, it's a couple of dollars.
Yeah,
I think.
I think.
well,
Yeah, I think the
that's-
parking is like $7 or $8.
But it's
Yeah.
worth every.
But there's another feature which I don't think, as far as I know, there is no other concert series in the United States that I know of, or anywhere else. I mean, I don't know about every place, but in the United States, I don't think there's another concert series where you can be actually brought to the concert venue by a boat, and the boat drops you off right at the concert, right by the concert shell, right by where the orchestra
and you
is.
catch those boats where?
You have to go online to find out. Let me see. I'm going to put this as there are 8 water bus boarding stops at Marina Del Rey: Fisherman's Village, Burton Chase Park, Waterfront Walk, Marina Mothers Beach, Dolphin Marina, Esprit One Harbor at Marina Bay, and Del Rey Landing. So these water buses are a special feature of this concert series. No other place has it, and it brings you directly to the site, which is good because you don't have to walk so far from the parking lots. So this is something to look at. And I would recommend 2 ways of going online to finding out directions. You could go to marinadelrey.lacounty.gov, or you could go to culvercitysymphony.org.
Correct.
Those 2 ways of finding out, because the truth needs to be told. The Marina Del Rey Summer Symphony, which plays at Marina Del Rey during the summer, is run by the same corporation or the same nonprofit that runs the Culver City Symphony, which is the winter. So the winter name is the Culver City Symphony. The summer name is the Marina Del Rey Summer Symphony.
While you're on that, even though Richard just stepped out, you had a big article about you in the Argonauts.
Yeah, I was really happy. I didn't know actually they were going to do that. I talked to their arts writer, and I might want to say this. The Argonaut newspaper has been in existence for 25, 30 years in Marina Del Rey, and it covers mainly Marina Del Rey, but the surrounding communities also, of course, Venice and Mar Vista and Playa Vista and Westchester and such places as that. But they recently have taken on, I think he's in his 2nd year, this gentleman named Michael Auschenker, very smart, very clever, very young gentleman. He writes beautifully, and I did an interview with him, and he turned out this fantastic article that was in the edition from July 10.
So this week?
2014. Yeah, last week.
Or last week.
It comes out on Thursday, and I don't know if the cameras are running, but
They're running. I just don't know which one. So hit
there's
both of them.
Okay, there's that one. There's an article. It shows a picture
Okay,
of me
turn
in the
it to this
orchestra.
camera,
And here
'cause
to
I-
that camera. Can you see it?
Because I don't know which one is coming up on.
Right.
Or if it's coming up on any. But anyway.
You could probably, since today is Wednesday,
might still be around.
You can still find this in any of the locations around Marina Del Rey. Tomorrow, a new one comes out. But it has an advertisement for our symphony concerts at Marina Del Rey, a nice big like a 3/4 page advertisement, plus this article. So if you want to get a feeling of what these concerts are about, he did a very extensive interview with me, and it's outlined.
And it's probably
great.
online, too.
You know what?
I bet you it's at theargonaut.com or something like that.
I think you're right. I think
they can Google it.
Yeah, just Google Argonaut newspaper, and I'm sure it's online.
Yeah,
as
I'm
well.
sure it's online, so you can get it there also.
Yeah, I want to say a couple of words about the actual program of the next week.
Are you on it next week?
Yeah, but I am just a principal cello.
He's been doing principal cello for me this week, which I'm very happy about to get that.
What does that mean, principal cello?
Okay, the orchestra is a big entity, 75-piece, organism, so to speak. There are 70, 80 musicians on the stage. And they are in groups. So there are violinists, there are violists, there are cellists, there are double basses, etc., woodwinds, brass. So the leader of the group is a principal player.
Okay, so you're the leader of the cello people.
Correct, yeah. I'm the leader of the cello people. I'm the one who gets blamed for everything.
Take me to your leader.
Exactly.
Take the leader of the cello people. I love it. This is great.
There needs to be a shirt.
I know. I'm the leader of the cello people. That's right.
We'll start the rehearsal.
We want to establish our own country. We're the cello people.
Cello people, yeah, exactly.
I didn't know it was going to be such a hit.
That's a good term.
On the chair, that's what it should say.
Cello people, yeah. The leader. So,
okay, that's
so
your
the
next
week,
license plate.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
The leader of the cello people.
The cello human.
And I'll fly you to my country myself because I'm a pilot.
Come on, you're making me tear up because I'm laughing.
Listen, next week concert is a really nice.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah. It's basically all Russian. That's why he's bringing it.
I will let you finish. I will let you
We should have
finish.
called it Moscow Nights.
Well, what I was going to say, it's actually a really nice date kind of environment. Because the first piece on the program will be Prokofiev's Romeo and Juliet,
we're opening with Romeo and Juliet.
Everyone knows who's Romeo and Juliet.
But it's the problem piece. The Montagues and the Capulets,
Yeah, they're fighting.
Romeo and Juliet.
One gets killed. No, everyone gets killed.
Yeah. Everybody gets killed. Everybody dies in Romeo and Juliet.
So, sunset, murder.
So it's a very romantic type of concert that night.
Yeah, it's very romantic.
Yeah, and there will be Mussorgsky's pictures at an exhibition.
Pictures at an exhibition.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's basically like a walk. Imagine that you walk into a galleria and you stand in front of different paintings, and the paintings are expressed with a sound. It's a really interesting experience to listen for that. Because it's a huge piece. It's a full orchestra, and then there will be a violinist.
Yeah, we have a delightful young man. He's 21. His name is William Hagen, and he is currently at the festival in Aspen, Colorado. But I discovered him last year, and he did the Mozart Violin Concerto No. 3 with me last year at another music festival. And I said, I got to bring you to Marina Del Rey because we wanted to bring a young artist of that caliber. So he said yes, and he's going to do the Tchaikovsky, which is like the biggest of the violin concertos.
Very virtuosic, but it's really wonderful music.
Oh,
it's just
great.
it's one of the hits of classical music. Actually,
So you're thrilled to be playing next week.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's always fun. I have to say, those concerts in Marina Del Rey, it's always fun to play, just because it's open air, weather is good. Thank God we live in California, right? The environment is phenomenal. People, the audience is really friendly, really favorable. Programs are really great. Of course, we have Maestro Frank Feta, conducting all of it. It's just simply a lot of fun, period.
It's interesting you bring that up. I was talking to this lady on Sunday who came. Her name is Judy, and she's a friend of mine, and she has come to the concerts before. She says, she's a nurse, and her son brought her, who used to always hate classical music. Her son is about 40 and was into other forms of music. And she said, my son always used to see classical music as, that's mom's music. That's my old mom's music, But he's come around, and she said he is so excited when he comes to our classical music concerts at the Marina. And I think part of it has to do with certainly changes in him. We talk about changing consciousness. You start saying, there is some other music out there. You don't have to give up the music that your rock or your rap or whatever. You don't have to give that up. You just add something else in.
Oh, I have a quick question. Do you listen to other music?
Yeah.
Do you listen to rap?
I like. Yeah, I do. I listen to rap because I like the poetry. I think it's very clever that a lot of these guys and gals get up and they extemporize. I mean, a lot of them are, the beat's going on, but they're making it up as they go along, and they really got a rap going on because I mean, they're just. It's coming out of their heads, and then it's fitting into an artistic whole. This is something that is very, very skillful. I have to admire. I like jazz. I like crossover stuff. I like things like the old. I like Billie Holiday, for example. I like Duke Ellington a lot.
Wouldn't you have loved to conducted Duke Ellington?
Oh yeah, or I love Wynton Marsalis.
I saw him not too long ago.
And there's a guy who does it all. I mean, he's got the chops for jazz certainly, but he also has the chops for classical music. He does trumpet concertos. So I have to admire him. So I like all that. Yeah.
I always wondered if go ahead, Ruth.
I was just going to ask, is there a type of music you don't like?
Yeah, I got the same exact question.
I don't like it. I don't like a lot of the music that comes out of cars when I'm driving, where I pull up against somebody and the music is so hideously, offensively loud that it shakes my car. That makes me really, really angry. Yeah. And whatever, that's the music I don't like, but it's conditional. I might like that music under different circumstances. I don't like some of the music that has that horrible beat that just goes on, and it's very, in my viewpoint, kind of a sappy expose of people's hideous problems, love problems, and I don't like the kind of music where it has that horrible beat and all you hear is kind of really salacious, kind of not very well disguised, salacious, gross stuff. That, because why I don't like that is because to me it's not the least bit creative. It's self-indulgent. So that kind of music I don't like. But great jazz, great rap, great R&B, I love it. Great gospel. People like Aretha Franklin who got the chops to sing.
And you're playing somewhere in Fontana tomorrow.
That
just reminded me. Yeah.
And a lot of it, I'll tell you, a lot of Hispanic music. I have just recently fallen in love with stuff like Amorcito Corazon. These beautiful Spanish romantic things, which take a really good singer to sing. See, here's my viewpoint. If it takes a really great artist who has great technique, great voice, great chops on their instrument to do it, it's probably going to be music that I'm going to want to hear. If it's just some screamer who only can sing anything because they can sing into a mic. I mean, I could sort of do that too if I had the inclination to do that. But tomorrow I'm doing a wonderful concert in Fontana. They have a summer series in the city of Fontana.
You're conducting it.
I'm conducting it, and it's with the San Bernardino Symphony, which is my orchestra, which Ruslan has also played with as a soloist. And it's going to be a mix of Hispanic symphonic music and symphonically popular music, like Grever, Augustin Lara, people of this type, and it's music that's regional, but for symphony. And then we're doing it. One piece we're doing, which is written a classical Mexican composer. His name is Moncayo. We're doing a piece called Huapango, which is from a region of Mexico, and we're doing it with dancers. It goes on for about 15 minutes, well, 10 minutes actually, and the dancers have choreographed with their beautiful costumes, and they change costumes, and at the end, they start with their folklorico concert costumes on, and by the end, they've changed into these very contemporary leotards to
how
show
cute.
how the progress goes through, right?
Okay, before you continue, let's tell people where it is
Oh,
and
yes,
what
I
time
will.
it is.
I will do that. Okay.
So
what
they
you-
can show up.
Okay, this is called the Mosaico Music Festival Summer Symphony, celebrating the music and cultures of Latin America. We have two singers. We have Gustavo Hernandez and Ana Gonzalez and the Ballet Folclórico de Los Angeles. And it's sponsored by the San Bernardino Symphony with a grant from the James Irvine Foundation. What you want to do is go on the word recreation.fontana.org. Once again, recreation.fontana.org. It starts at 7 o'clock, 7 till 9, at Miller Park in Fontana. 17004 Arrow Boulevard, Fontana. It is no admission charge. Bring food, bring your families. It's a big space. It's a beautiful space, and you'll love it. It's active. We also have a Hispanic.
Can you sing along?
We're going to have a sing-along.
I figured that sounds
yeah,
like you.
the two sing. So if you want to learn the words, we're going to sing Cielito Lindo, and then another wonderful piece called Urame. So those are the two sing-along pieces. So.
All right. Well,
Is there
that's
chairs there, or they have to bring blankets?
You have to bring blankets or chairs or
both.
Or
both, yeah.
Water mattresses or air mat, whatever you want to bring. Sleeping bags, I don't care.
Same
Anything
goes
you
to
want.
Marina Del Rey concerts, by the way.
Yeah, yeah,
also
yeah.
blankets or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's a good way to segue into Ruth saying it starts at 7, so you got to bring food or your
right.
dinner or snacks.
Yep.
And Ruslan has been eating the seaweed.
Oh, it's great. The seaweed
it's
is
so amazing.
wonderful.
And it says here non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I
did
was
you
And
eat
now
the
we
whole
have official
package?
taste
See,
testers.
you've just you've just added another day onto your 7-day record of being a vegetarian. Now it's 8 days.
Listen, I stopped eating meat in the airplane from Moscow to Los Angeles.
Why did you
Well,
got?
They just made the decision?
Well, pretty much, yeah.
Because your
Or
clothes
was it
weren't
because of the
fitting?
airplane
it
food?
was just, you know.
I think his,
I
I
know
think
what
his
I-
clothes weren't fitting him.
You know, one of the reasons I don't. One
Too
of the
much
reasons I
of-
avoid flying is I can't stand the smell of the food. The food drives me crazy. Being in that closed space, it really almost makes me sick. That's
Yeah.
why flying is really hard for me. But
No, the food was okay. It just, you know, I suddenly realized that, you know, I told you this tragic situation that I had to buy a new pair of pants because I just wouldn't fit into, you know, I'm losing my wardrobe. And I cannot afford it.
That's
So-
exactly what you
That's
said
actually
to
a
me.
huge motivation,
Yeah.
right?
You
Wait,
just said
yeah.
that
I
to
did.
me the other day. We had a
Yep.
meeting because we're going to be working on a project together.
Yep. And what I said was, you know, one of my biggest motivations is to stay in shape is to really not have to go out and buy new clothes.
yeah.
Like, I don't want to spend the money. I'd rather spend the money doing a million other things than
Yeah.
having to build my wardrobe
Rep-
that
yeah.
I'm not necessarily happy with.
All right, let's kind of let you take the mic for a
Yeah.
little bit and talk about the healthy
Sure.
food that you can bring to an outdoor concert or just to the beach, anywhere that you're going this summer.
Yeah, well, the summertime is fantastic because there are so many great seasonal foods out there that you really want to take advantage of. The really, you know, great fruits in particular. I love the peaches and the apricots and the plums and the pluots and all of the berries. I get a lot of questions about, well, don't they have a lot of sugar in them? You know, how much is too much? You know, and one of the great things about these particular summer fruits is that they're loaded with fiber. So if you're eating the entire fruit, the fiber is actually slowing the absorption rate of the sugar in your body. And it's helping to, you're getting all of the antioxidants and the nutrients from these particular foods. So when you're talking about going to a summer concert series, out on a picnic, going to the beach, bringing these along, they're very sturdy and they can be just, you know, eaten as they are. They don't really need any additional flavoring or preparation. So I love giving cutting one in half and giving my 10-month-old, you know, just half of a peach, you know, and he just numbs it up with the few teeth that he has. So it's really great. And this is a wonderful option as a dessert too. I think that if you're going to be packing a picnic, there's no doubt that being able to get some of these fresh fruits in is a wonderful addition and just way to bring summer in internally into your body. Ruslan was also eating the sea snacks.
They're delicious.
Those
Yeah.
are phenomenal.
They're delicious.
And
roasted seaweed
Held
snack.
one up, Frank.
Here, they're so beautiful too.
It has 2 grams of fat, 1 gram of protein.
You can actually, you
1 gram
can actually see through it. It's like a stained glass window.
Yeah, they're
really
beautiful.
Can you see this?
They're beautiful and they're crinkly.
I'm not sure which camera is
and
working.
they're crunchy. I happen to always like to recommend these as an option instead of chips. To
Look at that.
go for
No,
something
with the
like this. It's a little
I'm
bit
gonna eat
different,
one.
but I have not found one person who hasn't liked them yet after I suggested them.
And they come in different flavors too now.
They do, you know, and they're just a great source of nutrients. And if you're a fan of sea vegetables at all or love sushi, you know, this is a natural snacky type of food to bring with you. And they last forever.
Yeah,
you
can have them for a year in your cupboard.
Yeah, you know, and they travel well as well, and kids like them and adults like them, and they're very, very easy to eat.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So there are plums. What about apples, bananas, that stuff? Is it a...
Yeah, so apples are great too. Apples are more of a fall food. So especially in California or along the western coast, they come into being more ripe in harvest in the fall.
I see.
So we're talking mainly about more of the summer foods. Watermelon would fit into this category. Melons would fit into this category as well. Berries, you know, I happen to be a big fan of blackberries.
I like them too.
And strawberries and blueberries as well. And blueberries, wonderful for the brain. So just kind of making the connection with music. You know, music is opening up to the brain. It creates certain synapses that come together and helps with memory and boost memory. Blueberries can also enhance your memory. So getting in those extra antioxidants are very important. I brought a couple of, speaking of sea snacks, I wanted to talk about different food preparations for picnics because a lot of times we're thinking, okay, what do we do, right? We can bring sandwiches, we can bring like pasta salads, we can bring a potato salad as a very common thing. But a lot of those foods are really high in fat, or they're high in sugar, or they're
salt,
very high in salt. I mean, especially cheese is such a popular thing to bring along, right? But their cheeses are so incredibly high in sodium for the small quantity that you're eating that it's kind of difficult on your blood pressure and your bloodstream. So you want to minimize that as much as you can, or at least mitigate it. So one way definitely is to get in some dark leafy greens. This is Swiss chard. And what I like about Swiss chard when we're talking about picnics is that you can use these big leaves. Let me see if I can pull one out. See how big these leaves are?
Look how pretty it is too.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
So these leaves can actually be used as wraps.
We do that all the time. I love that. I do that a lot.
Yeah, and you can smear the ends, wash it of course first, and then strip the stalk off because the stalk is too hard for our body to digest. And then smear some hummus inside, and get some other fresh vegetables and wrap it up. And there you have a very easy, simple dish to take along with you. And there's a bunch of other things too.
All right, well, we'll continue that because this is really interesting. Frank, do you know what this is, Ruslan?
Yeah, it's West Side Story. Is that my recording?
Believe it or not, Frank, it is yours.
It's good. I didn't listen to it's West Side Story Overture. Yeah. Leonard Bernstein.
And you were conducting this?
Yeah.
And it's from Marina Del Rey. Is that what the people here?
I had forgotten we had done that. I was on that concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that.
All right. As we go out to break, I can't even talk. This is Frank conducting West Side Story at last year's Marina Del Rey concerts. When we come back from break, we're going to continue with the food basket because that was really interesting. And we still got stuff on the table we haven't gotten through, but I'm sure we'll talk about plenty more stuff. So stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back. This is Alayna's Beauty Talk and more on LA Talk Live. We're more than just talk.
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Starlet Quarles, and I'm inviting you to join us every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People. Join us as we discuss the topics that are relevant to today's generational leaders. So don't forget to tune in to The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Tika Lark Fleming inviting you to join me every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for MP Chronicle Presents The Black Girl Show. Join us as we discuss politics, pop culture, and the other side of Black LA. So don't forget to tune in to MP Chronicle Presents The Black Girl Show every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream.tv. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Dawn Christie inviting you to join me every Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific, for my all-new show, The Dawn Christie Show. Join me as I discuss love, spiritual readings, your purpose, why am I born, what am I here to do. So don't forget to tune in The Dawn Christie Show at 1 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on LA Talk Live. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV, reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
This is Brett Chapin.
And this is Dorothy Dillingham Blue, inviting you to join us every Saturday at noon Pacific Standard Time for our show, La La Land Talk.
Join us as we talk with some of the top talent in LA. Artists' untold stories, your phone calls, and live on-location broadcasts have made La La Land one of the best sources in LA for everything entertainment.
So don't forget to tune in to La La Land Talk.
Exclusively on latalklive.com.
You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com.
Saturdays at noon Pacific Time. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/LaLaLandTalk, Twitter, twitter.com/LaLaLandTalk. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live.
And we are more than just talk.
Welcome back to Alayna's Beauty Talk and more. What did you just say?
That was me. That was me playing with Frank conducting.
That's right. Good.
That nasty sound you hear.
Yeah,
that's
from
me.
the cello people.
Yeah.
It's the leader of the cello
The leader of the cello people.
And I wasn't just the leader, I was a soloist of
That's
the
right.
cello people.
Well, that's part of being a leader. You can do anything you want,
Oh,
right?
Are you enjoying the crackers
Especially
now?
if you're Russian.
Especially if you're Russian.
We are actually having our own summer series picnic here at LA
These
Talk
crackers are
Live.
fabulous.
And I have a bunch of drinks. Look, Russians have drinks. Not just one. I have a bottle and 2 glasses. And
We
this
are
bottle.
partying.
and
We're
this-
practicing for the LA for
Yeah,
the
for the
summer
marina, yeah.
conference series
And,
here.
this cup of this bottle says, "Consuming this product may cause joy."
I love it.
Happiness. Aw.
You know what's funny? These crackers are so crispy that they totally blank out the music when I chew on them.
Can I try them?
You'd
I
like
have
it.
to tell
This is so
everybody
funny.
there is
I
no
love it.
alcohol at this table.
No.
This
yeah,
is
there's
pure
no.
joy
This
being
is
here.
lemonade
Pure
and
energy.
There are Russians
Pure
at this.
joy on LA Talk Live. How happy everybody is to be here on the show. And
There are
here at our
so
studio in
funny.
LA Talk Live.
there are Russians at this table, but there's no alcohol.
Good.
You know, I was actually sitting here thinking about your question about my trip to Russia, to Moscow. It suddenly hit me. You know, here's a good kind of thing to imagine what's going on there right now. Sorry to kind of flip
It's
it back.
okay.
Lenin. You know who was Lenin, right? The guy
Yeah.
who did the revolution and everything. You know
Yep.
that his body was mummified and put in this heart of the country on the Red Square. It's basically the Kremlin area. Well, when the Soviet Union collapsed, the mausoleum of Lenin was still there, the body was still there, but people would stop going there. Well, guess what? The body is still there. The mausoleum is still there. I was stunned to find out, but now there's a huge line there as well.
Wow.
But if before there was this lines at the mausoleum made of the Soviet people, that included cello people, violin people, and all. Nowadays, you could see all kinds of people: Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, American, Europeans, Russians. Don't go there to watch that, basically dead body mummified. But it's the foreigners, the tourists that would arrive, and so that's right on the Red Square. Now, on the other side of the Red Square, there's this huge supermarket now. And it's gigantic.
It's not Whole Foods, is it?
No, it's
Okay.
it's so I walked in. It's been there forever. It's been there during Soviet time. It's one of the largest shops, largest buildings. With you can buy a lot of different things. And I remember it being kind of half empty and kind of gray. And you walk in now. If you've been in Las Vegas and Bellagio, and remember that orangeria with the flowers and everything.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
that's how it looks now inside. And the first, there are all these boutiques. The first boutique I stumbled on was the perfume. So I walk in and it was Tom Ford room, and it was the largest room of Tom Ford products I've ever seen in my life. In fact, I was so overwhelmed that I started asking, can I to take pictures of it? Because I really never seen it. It's huge. Pretty much I said they wouldn't let me take the pictures. The next room was some kind of colognes and perfume from sheikhs, Arabian sheikhs. I mean, the bottle was like $1,500 each, and people were buying that stuff. That's the most
Wow.
amazing part of it. Yeah. So of course I sprayed on myself as much as I could. Immediately after that, I have my flight back to Los Angeles. Nobody wanted to sit right next to me.
Well, maybe
but
they
I was
did.
enjoying- yeah.
Maybe they did.
Yeah. But that's what kind of to give you the feel
Wow.
what the Moscow is now, what Russia kind of feels now. Is
Are you
truly
going
interesting.
back anytime
I
soon?
probably will go back in October because, surprisingly enough, the Moscow Conservatory Postgraduate School allowed me to finish my postgraduate program that was interrupted 12 years ago when I moved to the United States. And I just, out of curiosity, kind of stepped in and said, here's me. And I needed to take 2 more exams. So it's believe it or not, I need to play solo recital and actually 3. Solo recital, English language, and psychology.
Really?
Yeah, believe it or not, yeah. And I will have my doctorate from Moscow Conservatory done.
Wow,
Yeah.
congratulations.
So, well, not yet.
But you will. You don't leave anything unfinished.
I'm trying to, yeah.
If
as far
possible.
as, yeah, so, yeah. it's
That
fine,
was, yeah. So
It was
that's-
12 years ago when I moved to the United States. I actually went back a few months later, hoping to, take those exams and be done with it, and they wouldn't allow me. They announced me a traitor, and, they said, no way. and all of a sudden now, sure, more than welcome, right?
Well, you're so famous now.
Yeah.
Well, I was kind of famous then, maybe not as famous. But
Yeah, but things have changed.
Things
Things have changed.
So,
you can eat your cracker. We'll go on to something else you're playing with. All right, Ruth, let's go back. They're enjoying their chewing.
I know. I love hearing the crunching. It's really fun.
Can you hear the crunching?
Yeah, a little bit, but that's good.
No, but it's fun.
No, oh my gosh.
It's fine. This is what a show should be like. I mean, fun, entertaining, eating what you brought. That means it's good. People are enjoying it.
Right. Well, and it's better than seeing these faces of grimaces when I'm saying, "Eat this," right?
If people would do it, they'd find out how delicious and wonderful these tastes are.
Well, now you're living proof. You're actually experiencing and enjoying the food that I'm bringing. So I appreciate that. Yeah, and the drinks.
Say something about the drinks.
Did
you have one of those?
Yes.
I didn't have. I'm gonna have
both
of
them. Not just one. Both of them.
So the bottles are so pretty.
Yeah, aren't these beautiful? So these are called Q. This is Q Ginger, and this is Q Cola. It's basically a newer find for me that is available at natural food stores. But these are healthy alternatives to the sodas that are out there. Also, if you're looking for something that's refreshing and non-alcoholic, I think that these are probably the best choices to me on the market.
And they're good to bring to parties. People
they're beautiful. They're beautiful.
They're good talking pieces.
Yeah.
This is true. And if you go to a concert and bring a basket of this kind of things, you're going to have people probably all around you say, "What's that?
Yeah.
What's this? Let me try that. Let me try that." And it just opens up everyone's. Could I try that, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So
this is ginger.
This is ginger. Yeah, ginger's my favorite. And there's a couple of other flavors too. And actually, you brought up such a good point about concerts and picnics.
Okay, how much is a bottle of that about? Do you remember? Just round. It doesn't have to be the exact.
I'd have to look.
You'd have to look. I was just wondering what.
I don't think it's overwhelmingly.
It's not the cost of a bottle of wine.
No.
So it's within under $10.
It's more than $2 chuck, but it's less than.
And for the lovers of Coca-Cola, for instance, there's a bottle of cola that tastes almost like Coca, but it's all made out of the natural ingredients, and it doesn't have those 40 grams of sugar.
Just
in it,
when you read, just read the ingredients. Look, real ginger, shake gently. Ingredients. Carbonated water. I love carbonated water. Okay. Organic agave. Ginger extract. Extracts of lemon juice, coriander, cardamom, cayenne, orange peel, and rose oil.
Yes.
Who wouldn't like that?
Yes. And so, and really, that's a good point, too. You can read every single ingredient on that label.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you try it?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? It also clears the sinuses.
Well, it's good for a ginger. It's great for the immune system.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it has a lot of good properties to it. So
knowing you'll stop and buy it on the way home.
And it doesn't have any kind of ingredients that you read and you think, what the hell is that?
Monosodium glutamate.
Or all kinds of, this chemical elements that really, they are not food. They sound like chemicals when they read it.
Yeah. If it sounds like a chemical, it probably shouldn't be ingested.
If it sounds like chemical, it's probably chemical.
Yes, exactly. It was made in a lab. Not in the ground.
Not in the ground.
Yeah. So these are good choices to take.
It's really good. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad that you like it.
You learned something new.
Well, I've always loved the taste of ginger. In fact, I actually eat raw ginger.
Mm-hmm.
I just like it. And but I'm also a fan of carbonated drinks. So sometimes, once in a while, I'll get ginger ale, but this is more satisfying. And because I deal a lot with the voice and the throat, I can actually now feel all the effects that this ginger drink is having.
And now you only had 2 sips.
I had 2 sips, and I could feel it going into my sinuses and clearing that out. I could feel it going into the inner ear, clearing that out, and I could feel like a wonderful, comfortable burning sensation in my larynx. I mean, it's not a burn, it's an energy. It's an energy. And now my nose is running, so it's perfect.
So, to the makers of the Q Ginger, guess who's your new spokesperson?
Yeah, we should send them a little.
It's great for singers. Singers, if you're listening, get Q Ginger. It's great for your singing voice.
I juice every morning, right? I juice a pack
Oh,
of
we've
broccoli
talked- yeah.
Yeah.
with the ginger.
Yeah.
There is and carrots. It's a glass of. I hate broccoli. I cannot. I mean, the boiled, steamed broccoli. It's
Mhm.
But I juice it, and every morning I start my.
Do you like
with
broccoli
drinking.
raw?
I
Have you
juice
tried
them. So I get the juice out of the broccoli. I have a very powerful juicer.
Oh,
And I
okay.
just
That's
juice
good.
a pack of broccoli every morning. I drink this glass of those carrots, broccoli, and the ginger. Actually keeps me going for half of the day.
Yeah, I love starting the morning with greens. Greens in a juice are fantastic because the micronutrients go directly assimilated into your bloodstream, giving you a lot of energy.
Correct.
And it's all pure and natural. So actually, that's one of the ways to get over a sugar craving is to just drill your body with greens because you're getting that natural pure energy where you don't need that rush from the sugar. Speaking of juicing, I do that a lot too, and I ended up picking up a juice earlier today, and this happens to be called Deep Roots, and it has carrots and beets and ginger in it as well.
Wow, let's try it. Huh? Can we try it?
Yes. And for a little musical, we have very, very deep roots to our music because that's what we're trying to do, establish our deep roots. Him to my Italian, him to his Russian, and that's what we do with deep roots. Oh, this is from Whole Foods. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a Whole Foods version too.
You want to try it?
I generally juice my own stuff as well in the morning, and I didn't have time. But one of the things I like about root vegetables is that they're very grounding. So if you're going into a concert or if you're feeling anxious at all, having the root vegetables is really calm and grounding.
Yeah.
So
it really is.
It really does help. It's amazing that the more that you can get in the whole food nutrients in your body, your energy resonates off of that, and you can really make a
musical
difference.
term. There you go. You're good, Ruth. You're really good.
I'm picking up on it as we're talking. Keep going.
Listen, this is really good. I really like it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's based on the coconut water, actually. I see.
Yeah, that's an interesting
Very
mix to me.
interesting,
I don't know if I would have necessarily put in coconut water into my juice. Generally, I would probably have cucumbers as my hydrating vegetable. But it's good to get a mix.
Fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And you're increasing your potassium that way with the coconut water. So. But another thing that you can do is obviously bring along some juices with you. And I think that's a great option for hydration and also to get in some of those micronutrients for both the musicians and also for the attendees of the concert.
I have a question. Is it better to go with like green drinks or vegetable drinks as opposed to fruit drinks?
I totally say yes to that. Because with the vegetables, like I said, you're getting in those micronutrients, which is great. When you're doing just juices from fruit, it's all pure sugar.
Yeah.
And the thing that you need with fruit in order to help regulate the sugar in your bloodstream is the fiber. That's why having the whole fruit itself is the best thing for you. So that's kind of the difference. That I see.
What's in that package behind you?
Oh, these are cherries.
Oh, okay.
I love cherries.
I love cherries too.
So cherries are fantastic as well. I brought in the dark cherries to actually for a point. Dark cherries can actually help to regulate melatonin levels in the body. So if you're having trouble sleeping, dark cherry juice, especially dark cherry juice, that's a tongue twister, is really, really great to help to boost melatonin production. So especially if you're out late, you're celebrating, you're having a good time, you're coming home and you're having a hard time unwinding, you don't necessarily want to go and have a cup of this right away or have a few right then, but have them earlier in the day to help to increase the melatonin production, and that will help you drift off to sleep a lot easier in the evening.
Did you forget anything in that beautiful basket
Oh,
before they eat
gosh.
it all?
So I guess there are just a couple of other things to think about. I talked about the Swiss chard as a different way to make wraps. You can also use nori sheets, the sheets that are used for sushi. I love putting quinoa into a nori sheet and with some avocado and creating a little, quinoa sushi, if you will, that keeps well. You're not going to have a problem with, having to keep it cold because it's just a good wrap. You can also do things like using rice paper to wrap stuff up in as an alternative to bread, and other traditional types of wraps, just to kind of mix things up and do things differently. Another good, really dish to prepare are bean salads.
Oh, love 'em.
For picnics.
Love them.
Love bean salads too. Very simple to make. You're getting in a great source of fiber, great source of B vitamins. It's just a fantastic addition. And again, you really just want to watch, kind of how you're making sure to keep your cold stuff cold and your hot stuff hot. And
I see there is like a little pack of berry antioxidants nut butter. What?
I did.
I
forgot
seen
about
that,
these.
actually.
Yeah, so these are by a company called Artisana. And these are different types of nut butters, but they are raw. And I like them because they come in these little squeeze packs. And the squeeze packs, like this one has berries in it. So it just has an increase of antioxidants there, which so it can be put on an apple or a piece of fruit or a cracker, for instance, for dessert, I like it as. And then this is a cacao bliss. So this is raw cacao. And so it's also kind of nice to be able to, instead of a dessert like a cookie or some candy, to be able to add a little bit of health and put in some good nutrients in your body and some good protein. So
I think now I like nut butters a lot. And one of the reasons I got to get I'm too busy eating. All right. I like nut butters because a lot of times I think one of the things that people shy away, the nut butters have a way of, you have to get through them. They have a viscosity that make them very satisfying to eat. You kind of, and then it's in your teeth and on the roof of your mouth. But the satisfaction factor, because they're a little heavier, they have a lot of bulk to them. I think they're very satisfying. That's why I like nut butters and stuff like that.
Well, and they're great. I mean, almond butter, for instance, has a lot of omega-3 fatty acids in it. I mean, and the fat within nuts actually helps to keep you satiated. So you're going to be fuller longer.
And I just found something at Whole Foods. You can go there and grind your own. I had no idea that. Well, the first time I made a mess, I took I took a lid instead of because you can't really tell the difference unless you look. I grabbed it real fast. And so then you start grinding it and everything. But anyway, it tastes so amazing. They have peanut butter, almond butter, cashew butter.
Yeah.
And you can get small amounts. Like I tend to love peanut butter, so I can't keep jars of peanut butter in my house. So I can go get $1's worth of peanut butter and be completely satisfied.
Yeah, that's great.
And the other thing is, too, you can even do it at home. And I didn't realize how easy it was until I started really experimenting with how to do nut milks. And so now I make my own nut milk at home.
You use like a food processor?
Super easy. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, for the nut milk, I use a blender. And
cool.
I soak a cup of nuts in water overnight. And then drain the water, put the nuts in the blender, put in 3 cups of water, press blend until it all gets liquefied.
I have to get that from you.
And then you put it in you can get cheesecloth and just put it all in and drain it and basically milk it. You kind of feel like you're milking a cow, but you're milking a cheesecloth or a bag.
Good. That'll bring up their farm experience.
Right?
Does it take long? Is it messy?
It is so incredibly easy. It's crazy. And you avoid all of the other kind of bad stuff that is in a lot of these nut milk products. So I happen to really like it. It tastes fresh and good, and it's amazing. And then with nut butter, same thing. Use a food processor, put a cup of nuts in, and just keep pulsing and pulsing and pulsing it. And that does take time, probably about 20 to 30 minutes, really, for it to start to turn into a butter. But it works.
All right. We got to kind of... Okay, we got to stop here and kind of wind up the show. We only got 4 minutes left, so we got to get information out about the concerts again before we close out the show. Are you done chewing, Frank? Can you get it out?
Yes, and I'm not going to pick the seeds out of my teeth. Okay. So All right, tomorrow night, Thursday, we're at Miller Park in Fontana. It's all Mexican music with singers and dancers and symphony, and that's recreation.fontana.org. And then if you go to the Marina Del Rey Summer Concert Series, that's at Burton Chase Park, Thursdays and Saturdays. And
is it Thursdays and Saturdays or Thursdays and
no,
Sundays?
Thursdays and Saturdays.
Oh,
Thursdays
okay.
and Saturdays.
But the classical music on Thursdays, right?
Classical music on Thursdays.
We are on Thursdays.
We are on Thursdays.
Okay.
And you can get marinadelrey.lacounty.gov or culvercitysymphony.org. See you there. We have these wonderful foods. Please bring those wonderful foods. Consult with Ruthie and eat heartily and healthily.
And also, really quickly, you can go to the rehearsals at 2:30.
Oh yes. When at Marina Del Rey, when we're there on Thursdays, come to our rehearsal. We start at 2:30. Bring your food, bring your blanket, bring your friends, and bring your sleeping bags and your water mattresses and whatever, and your wonderful selection of natural foods. It is incredible. So
All right.
we'll see you.
Ruslan, your final thoughts.
Well, what? I mean, come to the concerts, join us, enjoy it. You know, we love you, and hopefully you will love us. And bring the food, and we are going to have incredible programs, truly, truly wonderful programs. Bring your dates. It's an incredible date, trust me.
It's dark and it's cold. You can cuddle up in a blanket.
Oh yeah, and the
It's
blanket
nice.
and everything. It's just phenomenal. All the friends of mine who brought their dates on this concert always loved it. It was some of the most best experience.
Yeah.
And see you soon.
All right, Ruth, your final thoughts.
I think music and food, what better way to spend an evening? And the more healthy that you can make your food, the even more enjoyable that the overall experience will be. So definitely meld the two together and enjoy the melody.
All right, and you better pack your
Cheers
food up
to the
fast.
show.
Thank you.
Okay, cheers, everybody. See you again.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, happy summer concert. No admission, free summer concert. So please remember that these are a gift.
7
All right.
p.m.
Everybody, have a great week. Get outside. Buy some of this wonderful food. Buy the fresh fruits, vegetables. Just experiment with healthy foods. It's so much fun, and you feel so much better. And next week coming up on the show, we're actually going to have a beauty blogger show with some special guests. We're still working on that, but Steve-Al will be back with me next week, who is amazing. So it's going to be really fun. So we'll get you ready with all the hottest makeup tips for these concerts. Even though you look fine, just going natural. But everyone, have a great week. I will be back next Wednesday at noon. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye. See you all later. Bye-bye.
Just follow my lead. It's time to let you know you're better than beautiful. You're better than beautiful. You're better than beautiful. You're better than beautiful.
Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk. Stay tuned.